Right. Oh, let me just get my tea bag out.
You love a tea bag.
I do.
Open wide.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times, before the Empire.
If you remain the power of the dark side,
You may fire when ready.
I'll show you the dark side. We would be honored if you would join us.
Don't worry, R2. We're going.
Back it up.
Once more. But how dare what you have there?
I am a Jedi, like my father.
Force will be with you always.
Guys, welcome back to Blah Wars. How you doing, Jude?
Yeah, I'm good. Just watching your tea bag. It's quite fun.
I'm literally having a cup of tea as we speak. Just want to start the show by saying a massive shout out to everybody who's been listening to the show on Spotify. We basically got our hands on the listening figures for Spotify the other day for the first time, and it's like they give you kind of like a month of figures, and then it's a few days behind every day. But the figures were way higher than we could have possibly thought.
It was mental, wasn't it?
Turns out everybody's just using Spotify and nobody's really using the iTunes stuff. Well, we've still got a big audience on iTunes, but it's just compared to
It just outweighs
Spotify,
iTunes.
totally. So I think a lot of you guys are probably finding the show by looking like for Star Wars and whatever on Spotify, and that's great. And thank you so much for being part of it and listening, and a couple of you have got in touch with us, and just wanted to say welcome. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate that you're out there.
Yeah, thanks for the love.
And also, got to say, we've still got the other day on Instagram, we launched our Blah Wars shirts, which you designed.
Yep.
These beautiful like 2-color white and red shirts on black. That makes them sound awful. They're black shirts with this amazing graphical design that Jude's done.
You need to up your selling design game, mate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened.
How would you describe them?
Well,
they're screen printed, you know.
I'll be honest with you. My commute is about an hour long, so I designed it on the commute going to and from work about 3 weeks before Christmas, which was fun because most of the time I was surrounded by either sort of old men that work in finance or
suits.
Yeah. But there was one particular time where I was doing it, and this kid and his mum was sitting next to me, and he was just amazed that there was something Star Wars orientated being designed.
He probably thinks you work for Star Wars.
Probably. And he's every 2 minutes, Star Wars, mummy, Star Wars, and pointing out my screen. Get your grubby fingers off my screen, I was saying to him. Get off me. But yeah, so there you go.
Never meet your heroes, kids.
Yeah, don't do it.
All right. Well, if you still want one of those shirts, we've got a couple of sizes left. Those T-shirts, by the way, forgot to say, they're 25 quid.
Yeah.
That includes postage. I know that seems like a lot, but they are screen printed. They're extremely limited edition, and they're a really nice high quality. And also, when you order one, you get a little thank you note personally written to you from us. We'll both write all over it and stuff, and we might draw a cock on it if you want. I know
you're going to say that.
Expect that kind of puerile filth. Get in touch with us. They've sold pretty well. They've gone to people all over the world.
Canada, Australia, America, Wales.
We're willing to send them to wherever you live. And Wales, glamorous places like that. There are only 25 of them, and a lot have been taken now, and we've obviously got some ourselves, so there's not very many left. But if you're still interested, get in touch with us. You can send us an email. It's blahwarspodcast, all one word, at gmail.com.
Glad we got that one right, because I was just telling everyone it was blahwars@gmail.com.
It's not.
So the amount of emails that have been sent out to that.
Sorry, guys, if you were told the wrong thing by Jude.
John, do you ever
yes, mate.
listen back to the shows that we do?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I listen back to the show and I hear myself say, I'll cut that. So I say things like, don't worry, Jude, I'll cut that. Yeah. And I obviously forgot to cut it. I usually make a little note as we go through the show.
Well, to be fair to you, that was
mistakes.
A silly question, because you edit the show, don't you? And,
I do an edit, yeah, but I mean, I skim through it. I don't sit back and listen to the whole thing. I obviously have to hear it back as I edit it. Why'd you ask?
Well, the reason was because I don't really. I kind of just say stuff, let it go out into the ether, and then forget I ever said it. And I was on the way to the Sound Centre the other day, and I was in a traffic jam. You saw the crash; it was mental.
Oh, mate!
There's
a car, a van on the central reservation,
goodness,
on its side, like pointing into the air. So it was just mental.
So you can imagine, I was there for a long time, and I thought, what can I listen to? Oh no, I'll listen to one of our own shows. So I sat there, I listened to the Christmas.
Were you alone
episode.
in the car?
Yeah, I was on my own,
fine. Yeah.
I was listening to the Christmas episode. This feels all very egotistical, by the way, but it was just one of those things. And there was something you said that made me burst out laughing when I was listening to it. But when you said it live for the first time, it didn't even register.
Right.
What you said was, we were talking about Christmas socks.
Right.
And you say you just wear odd socks all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
What's
thing you
so funny
said that made me laugh was you said, when you turn up to people's houses and they ask you to take your shoes off and you got odd socks on, they look at you like you're mentally ill.
And they don't say anything though. They just look at you like you're mentally ill.
Yeah,
and they don't ever say anything. Nobody ever goes,
me.
"Oh, you're wearing odd socks."
Me.
Unless it's my mum. My mum will always point out that I'm wearing odd socks, like as if I don't know. Don't know that one's yellow, one's blue. Doesn't matter.
The reason I bring it up is because the other day, similar thing happened to me. In a rush, just put some odd socks on, and one of the socks had a hole in it, right, and big toe sticking out. Got round. I had to go and take something round to my next door neighbours. They offered me in for a cup of tea. I said, "Oh, you're going then." I said, "Take my shit." And then I remembered. The big hole, big toe situation. And then I can't. What? I can't. I've got to go home. Why? I thought you said no. And it was just literally trying to find any excuse to stop me taking my flipping shoes off to show these just awful, smelly, big toe socks.
Yeah.
But no, that tickled me. So what I realised was maybe I need to start listening to you and stop cutting over you when we're having these conversations.
No, my biggest criticism of myself on this is that I always ask you a question and I sort of interrupt your answer. That's my biggest criticism of my own.
I've noticed, mate.
But mind you, I'm my own worst critic. But my self-criticism is mediocre at best.
Fair enough.
That's a Richard Herring joke. I can't take claim for that. It's a great joke. He's a great wordsmith.
You're not.
Back on the T-shirt.
Wordsmith, wrong. That's beautiful. Go on.
Wordsmith?
You said wordsmith.
Well, I bumbled it up. Wordsmith.
About 10 years ago when I worked at literally my first job.
Yeah.
There was a guy, I won't say his name, but he was just obsessed with drawing like phalluses everywhere.
Right. Okay.
Whiteboards, phallus. I'd be going through my notes in a meeting. Oh, turn the page. Oh, lovely little cock there. Lovely. Skip a couple of pages. But at the time, I was applying for a mortgage. So I was going through this mortgage application. I was writing it out and ticking all the boxes. And he designed me this A4 sheet of paper, just top to bottom, left to right, full of phallus drawings, just cocks everywhere. And I went, "Oh, cheers, mate." I just popped it there. So anyway, I carried on filling out my mortgage application, signed at the bottom, popped it in the envelope, got up, went to the post office, posted it, came back, and then saw my mortgage application still on my desk. What I'd done was accidentally put the A4 sheet of paper into the envelope to the lawyer, right? Somewhere in London, this guy has received this A4 sheet of paper full of cock drawings out of nowhere, out of the blue.
With no explanation.
It was just incredible. Needless to say that I didn't get that mortgage.
I wanted to say about the shoe story. There was a time when I was working in a pub and these blokes knocked on I can't remember why they were there. They needed to see the landlord. They were from the government or something like that, or the health board or something like that. So I had to go upstairs and bang on his flat door, and he was literally in bed. And I he came to the door, with just his dressing gown on. And I said, mate, these people are downstairs. You need to come down and talk to them. And he went, oh, okay, sure, I'll be right down. He's like panicking. So he comes down. He's wearing a shirt, trousers. He's just grabbed his shirt, grabbed his trousers, whatever, and he's got his shoes on. And he's talking to these guys for ages. Shakes their hand, hello, I'm the manager, whatever. And afterwards, when they left, he was like, "Fucking hell, I'm glad that's over." And he looked down, and then he realised he had two completely different shoes on. He's got like winkle pickers on. One of them's black, one of them's brown, like really light brown.
Oh man, it's the subtlety of it. It wasn't like a Wellington boot and a plimsoll sandal. It was like, the subtlety of it makes it worse because unbelievable.
Mate, before we go on and talk about amazing Star Wars stuff, I want to first of all talk about an amazing competition that we're going to be doing, right? Yeah. We're unveiling this. This is the coolest competition we've ever done. We've done a couple of giveaways and things on Instagram, but this is a cooler one, and it's sort of... You're going to really want to get involved with this.
Right, depending on where you live, it's going to cost you an arm and limb leg.
Maybe.
Like Anakin Skywalker.
So... if you're a Star Wars fan and you know what's going on, you may have heard there is a amazing VR experience going on in 3 locations around the world right now, called Star Wars: Secrets of the Empire. It's a virtual immersive experience. It's like a bit like Laser Quest, but you get all this headgear and stuff. You go into the environment with a team of 4, and then you see each other as characters in Star Wars, and you're in the immersive environments. Against stormtroopers and Darth Vader and stuff like that. You have a mission to do, and it's like an hour long, an hour and a half immersive experience, as far as I understand. They have it on in London at the Westfield in Shepherd's Bush, and me and Jude really want to go down there. We want to obviously experience it, but we need a team of 4. So what we thought we were going to do,
because we have no friends, but go on.
Because we have no I think there is a listener out there. Yeah, we know that you guys are out there. What we'd like to do is we'd like to take one of you and a friend of yours, or your other half, or whatever we're going to give you 2 tickets to join us for an afternoon in London doing the Star Wars VR thing, and afterwards we'll get some lunch or dinner or something with you, have some drinks, and we'll just talk about it. It'll be a fun afternoon.
Or can we
half a day out?
What if the people we take turn out to be plebs and we don't get on with them? That is going to be one hell of an awkward dinner, mate.
don't apply if you're a pleb
as well.
So we'll get him lunch. We'll get him lunch. We'll get him the tickets for the event, but they've got to get to London and meet us at the place on time and everything.
So if you're in America,
we can't do flights.
Over.
You can come if you really want. If you live in America or anywhere else and you wanted to visit London, or you've got friends and family in London, maybe go, you know what? I'll be coming to see you soon because John and Jude are doing this competition and I might win. So
what a catalyst that is to go to London. Go on, hang out with 2 plebs from a Star Wars show. Go on.
It's very easy to take part. All you need to do is email us, and what we're going to do is send you back a little graphic. And it's basically a little kind of plug for Star Wars, right? It's just a little kind of advert about the show. It's just a little graphic. And what you do is you then post that on your Facebook or your Instagram or Twitter, whatever social media you use. You just post it on one of those as a post, and you tag us in that. And then you just send us a screenshot to confirm you've done that. And once you've done that, you're in the prize draw. And then what we'll literally do is do a prize draw when we've got all the names in. We'll give you guys like a week, or maybe should we give them 2 weeks or something for people to get involved in this? Because I know a lot of people don't listen to the shows immediately as soon as they come out. Some people always have
give you 2
backlog.
we'll give you a couple of dates.
We'll give you 2 weeks to get in touch. Yeah, and then when we've decided on who the winning person is, like say you can bring a friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever you want. Your dad, bring your sister maybe. Tell your sister, and then we'll obviously arrange with you what day and time we're going to do. But it should be enormously fun. There is an age limit, guys, so please, obviously, don't apply if you are below 18. So over 18s only.
And don't apply if you're over 50, because...
come along if you're over 50. That'd be fun.
All right. Fine.
It's quite physical, though, and you obviously need to be... you can't have any... I think if you've got like photosensitive epilepsy and whatever, probably you're best going onto the website. Google Star Wars: Secrets of the Empire, and you can find out all the information about it.
This is like This could be an episode of
just-
some sitcom. We could write a
Fucking hell.
sitcom about this because goodness knows who's going to turn up.
All right.
Some
Well,
bloke
look,
and his
it's-
grandma.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll just we'll move on then, shall we? I've got some Rogue One trivia I want to share.
Hit me up.
This is fucking amazing.
Go on.
Okay, so early on, really, everybody, you're going to be telling your mates about this
You'd
at
be
the pub.
telling your
Next time
sister,
you're down
go
the
on.
pub, you'll be telling your mates, you'll be telling your sister, you'll be telling your nan, you'll be ringing up Nana. She's going, "Hello, Keith." No, it's Kevin. Keith, Kevin. It's Kevin, Nana. Your grandson, Kevin. You'll say, Nana, get your head around this piece of amazing Rogue One trivia. So here we go.
Right.
Early on in production of Rogue One, Gareth Edwards, director of Rogue One, goes for some coffee.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
He goes into the coffee shop. Fella asks him what name to put on the cup. He says Gareth. Okay. Guy obviously passes it
Didn't
on or
draw him a
whatever.
phallus, did he?
5 minutes later, Gareth Edwards gets his cup back.
Yeah.
He looks at what the guy's written on it, and the guy's written Scarif. Okay?
Right.
Scarif.
It sounds like Gareth.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Got you.
And that's where the name comes from.
That's an
for the planet.
amazing
That's not
bit
an
of
amazing
trivia.
little bit of trivia. I told. I got in touch with a guy called Richard Jackson, who is a YouTuber. He's a writer as well, a journalist, I think. But he's mainly on YouTube. I know him from doing film reviews and whatever. And he's a huge Star Wars fan. I told him that, and he was like blown away. by
Really?
it. So
Where did you
it's
get that
great-
from?
I read that in I read that just
Oh, here
to
we
be
go. You
absolutely
made it up,
sure.
Carl.
Here, I've got the magazine. No. It's Star Wars Insider, the 2018 special edition. It's kind of like a yearbook. I don't usually buy Star Wars Insider,
Okay,
but
yeah.
this was a really nice issue because it's nice and fat,
Nice.
and it's
Kylo
got
Ren on
loads
the
of
front.
lovely artwork,
his stupid
concept
mask.
artwork, and stuff like that. Yeah, Kylo Ren's mask. Suddenly, that whole mask just seems so. It gets such a kick in, doesn't it, in The Last Jedi, that it's no longer cool to have the mask. It's, if you're going to dress up like Kylo Ren now, you do it. You go without the mask, and you just get the scar down your face.
Well, of course. I mean,
the
because-
ladies love a scar, don't they? Especially Rey.
Well, she gave it to him. But
Yeah.
I mean, he got a kick in The Force Awakens by his actual dad, and he gets a kick in The Last Jedi by his surrogate dad, I guess.
He gets a kick in from.
Han Solo. He goes, "Take that mask off."
Oh yeah.
You don't need
Sorry, you don't need it. Yeah, true.
Cool.
Well, there's the
What a
Rogue One
bit of-
trivia.
I've never been in Starbucks where they've spelt my name right, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Like-
used to keep a little gallery of all the mishearings, but usually it was my colleagues. So when I was working at, well, I won't say where I've worked, but one of the places I worked before, there was a lot of people from all over the world there. It was like a sort of fashiony brand, and they all had very, unique, not names you hear every day. So their names were constantly being misheard and mispronounced and misspelt. And we had this gallery of all these ridiculous mishearings.
beautiful, yeah.
It's great.
I got a couple on my
bet
Instagram.
there must be a couple of tumblers about that. People
But
start
of
spelling
course
your
it-
name wrong.
but every single time, guaranteed, even if I spell my name Jude,
Yeah.
every time GUD.
Good.
God. It's
God.
just, you can't,
But that
mental.
guy in Starbucks, right, or wherever it was, he's named a fucking planet.
I wonder if
pretty
he knows
amazing.
that. I wonder if he knows that.
I bet he doesn't. But when I was in the cinema, I was looking at the names of the planets, thinking like, have I heard that before in Star Wars? Has that been mentioned? And the one that I thought was weird was Wabani, because I saw that and I thought it said Obi-Wan, and then I realised that it's an anagram of Obi-Wan,
Got ya.
because it says Wabani, and my instant. I read Obi-Wan, and then I was like, Wobani. Oh,
Do you know
I
it's
didn't really-
in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
There's a Chinese restaurant called
Yep, that's right.
Obi-Wan.
Did you know that Harrison Ford's outfit in that scene is wearing a white tux with a big red flower?
Yes, I
They
did see that.
recycled that in The Last Jedi,
yeah.
for the guy in the casino,
Yeah.
the code breaker.
Yeah.
And Lily Cole is his girlfriend. I mean, What a missed opportunity. They've got her as a human character. Her eyes are so far apart. She's the only person on Earth who can look a hammerhead shark in the face with both eyes at the same time. And what a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And there's that other guy, there's that alien who actually goes, hey, those people parked that ship on the beach. His eyes are really far apart as well. It's almost like, do you think that Lily Cole's a bit offended by
I'm in this
that other
film
creature?
somewhere. I can't quite tell what character I'm playing.
The funny thing about that whole Canto Bight thing is they get thrown in jail. They get thrown in jail because they basically parked on a beach, not because they did something extremely dangerous or they tried to break into something or did something heroic. They parked on a beach. So basically, if they had parked somewhere a bit more sensible on the cliffs, they would have got in that casino and got out there with the right guy.
They came down the public beach, they smashed their ship into the sand. Of course you're going to cause a ruckus. They didn't think it through. That whole scene, the whole plot is superfluous, pointless, rubbish.
Do you know DJ? Do you know what DJ stands for?
Deliberately jackass.
Don't join.
Right, okay, what's his real name?
Bit of trivia for you there. I don't know.
I don't know what he was doing in the cell, to be honest.
Don't join written on his hat.
He went to the cell for a nap. Why didn't he just break himself out as soon as he got in there? Anyway, let's stop.
I don't know. I thought he was drunk.
This week. We've
I thought he was drunk. Yeah, we're not.
Overdone Last Jedi big time. So, mate, I saw that you posted on Instagram Lego box sets, leaked Lego box sets for the Han Solo film, which confirms the artwork.
Yeah.
Which confirms the Millennium Falcon as Kessel Run Falcon.
Well, the artwork, Disney said it's not a poster. Well, technically it's not a poster, no. It's artwork, official artwork for the packaging, for the boxes. It's a bit like that picture of Rey, Finn and Poe.
Yeah.
That came out with all the red diamonds behind them. You know, that ended up on a toy box. And it's funny now, in hindsight, of course it's so obvious. It looks like the edge of a Lego box or something like that, or just a action figure box. So yeah, it is official. The Falcon, I actually really like the look of it. I love the look of this config because I mean what's it called, the YT 180 or something like that. I don't know what it's called. The code number for it, I can't even remember. You know what? I've got it over there. I'm looking at my cabinet. I've got my X-wing miniatures in there, but I can't remember what it's called. No, I'm keeping the X-wing miniatures. I've been flogging Star Wars toys.
But I'll tell you about that guys in a minute. Before we get into Han Solo.
All right then. Well, I basically decided it's time to get rid of a lot of my Star Wars collection. In fact, about 90% of it. So I've been flogging stuff, and there's a group on Facebook called Echo Base, which is a trading page for Star Wars vintage figures. And what I thought I'd do is I'd photograph all my figures and get them all on there in one great big list with the prices and all photos and everything on one post. And then I'll put it up, and then people comment below. And the idea is somebody can say, if they wanted to buy the figure, want to commit to buy the figure, they say things like, I will take Admiral Akbar, please, or Bosk, or whatever. And then some people will also say, can I have more photos of Yak Face? But I don't, but by saying that, they're not actually claiming it. They're simply just doing that. So what happens is this post goes up, and in about 15 minutes, I have been bombarded with messages, notifications. Facebook is like computer's slowing down because Facebook's going to meltdown. Some people are claiming stuff like quick. Some people are claiming multiple things, so they're all claiming the same thing. So people are going like Bosk, please, Bosk, please, Bosk, please. Obviously, Bosk's gone already. So, and then there's people going, can I have more photos of Jedi Luke? But then like 5 minutes later, someone's gone, I'll claim Jedi Luke. So that's now the photos are irrelevant because someone else has taken him. So it was just hell on earth. It was like feeding time at the fucking zoo. It's crazy.
Like, logistic hell, mate.
So basically for the next hour I'm sitting there just replying messages to everybody and they're still coming in all the time. And by the end of, I think within 2 hours or 3 hours, my PayPal balance had gone from 0 into 4 figures. I've never seen PayPal just like have more money than like £50 in it any time. It's just gone berserk. So
mate.
I've still got half of the figures left. If
There's
you
a
go
tinge
on
of sadness
Star Wars,
with this.
it is, but listing them it felt sad. But as soon as people started buying them and getting really excited about them, because I've got some really nice ones.
They're going to good homes.
Yeah, they're going to really people who deserve them. People a lot more older than me who've got. Who've slower collectors than I was, who've been waiting for ages to find the right looking one. Because they're all in different conditions and whatever. I'm quite particular with mine. Mine are generally in very, very good, like mint or near mint condition. But it's sad to see them go. But at the same time, it's making me really happy that they're going to good homes. And I need to downsize. I'm thinking about moving house soon, so I want to get rid of some of my clutter. And the Star Wars cabinet is definitely clutter, But it's, it's time to put away childish things.
I feel like I need to come round and give you a hug. It's giving me a lump in my throat.
Oh, mate. Darth Vader helmet's for sale as well. If anybody wants a Darth Vader mask, it's the EFX Collectibles A New Hope helmet. I was sort of looking for £400 for it.
Are you selling the Falcon?
Yeah, the Falcon's already sold. All boxed and gone. It's ready to post, and I've got a load of Black Series stacked all over the place over there. With that's all been sold. I've got like 5 Black Series figures left.
I remember when you bought that Vader helmet. I remember when you bought that Falcon, and you were so happy.
I know.
Uber happy.
I know, but at the end of the day, right, they're just sitting there gathering dust, and the Falcon's not particularly valuable. It's a nostalgic thing, isn't it? But I've got loads of books on Star Wars that I love. I'm not going to sell those, and that's my doorway to that galaxy. If I want to get immersive, and also I've still got all my X-Wing stuff because I love playing the X-Wing miniatures game. And later this year, we've got Imperial Assault coming. Not Imperial Assault, sorry, Star Wars Legion, which I will be all over. So. There's still going to be a load of Star Wars stuff around my home. It's just not going to be
welcome to my world.
As much. Yeah, it's just
like
time to move on.
Undercover stealth.
Still got the signed posters. They're all framed up, and
the next thing you're going to tell me you're cutting your hair and wearing suits and going to work in a bank.
I could totally see myself wearing suits, but I would never cut my hair short again. No, I mean not till because grey hair, right, which I have a bit of. It's like wire. It has no fucking. It doesn't behave like the rest of your hair, so it's kind of got a mind of its own. It's very unruly. So
really?
Maybe when grey hair is all over my head, which is not quite there yet,
mate. You'd be fine.
Yeah, but look at his hair. It's like wire wool. Yeah. It's really like Donald Trump's kind of hair. It's unruly. Talking of which, I'm reading that book and it's fucking hysterical.
Is it?
It's hilarious, mate. It's like, on the election night, Trump was so convinced he was going to lose, he was actually writing this speech, and he was saying all in this speech about how the election was stolen and stuff by Hillary Clinton and all this kind of this libelous shit that he does. Yeah. And the whole point of it was that he would get such a high profile that he would then launch a great big broadcasting network off the back of his overnight popularity again. Yeah. But basically it backfired massively.
So it was more of a business
it was a big marketing. It was a big marketing plan for him.
Then it's you're president of the United States, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
Basically, the most unfit person for the job got the job and doesn't even want the fucking job, and now has to stick to it. He'll retire. He'll resign, I think, at some point in the next 4 years. I'm really sorry to our American listeners who have to fucking deal with him and his ridiculous tax reform and stuff, but. We'd probably drop the conversation about Trump and go back to Star Wars. Han Solo.
Politics, never good.
Talking of unpopular things, right, so Han Solo movie.
Let's talk about these Lego boxes and the designs on the front. So the design was legit. The Falcon does look superb. I've got to say, it looks brand new.
It's a very configurable ship. If you actually read about those ships, they are super configurable. Some of them have the kind of mandibles. Is it called the mandibles at the front, where you can? That's designed to lock into something else, so you can shunt a great big cargo station through space. And then some of them have got like a point at the front. Some of them have got a cockpit at the front. They're all really modular.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit. it's definitely canon that's shunting a big cargo ship through space, because that's in the
it's in the handbook. It's also in the Millennium Falcon handbook.
It's in the Force Awakens cross section.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So it's up to date canon. So it'd be interesting to see why that middle piece is full. Now, is that just a small piece of cargo boxing, or is that part of the ship? Is it,
I think the whole spikes on the front, those points on the front, I think that's all much longer than it is in the classic films. So I think it's the whole front of it's reconfigured.
Okay.
In my opinion. Also, you can notice that the dish is different. There's obviously a different paint job. And the gun turrets are much more simple and minimal. They're not as powerful as the quad laser cannons you see in the other films.
I kind of feel like this film's gonna it's gonna develop the Millennium Falcon almost like a character in its own right.
Well, it is a character, isn't it? We've said this before. The Falcon is very much a character. What I mean is, like, maybe you see it being assembled at the factory, or you see it being built or something, right?
And then it's like literally brand new, and they steal it. Or
we're going to see Corellia in this film.
Oh, of course we are. Of course we are.
Because that's been like Han Solo is, I think, a Corellian, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's actually from Corellia. So I don't know much about Han Solo's childhood or anything like that. I know there are loads of old books on this.
If you scroll along on our Instagram post.
Yeah.
To the third box, and that you got that little white dog thing.
Yeah,
that's called like I can't remember. It's called like a Corellian white dog, or something. So I assume that whole speeder chase, which is they're clearly running from the Empire, is on Corellia.
Well, either running from the Empire or other characters. I mean, like. Because what we do know about the lore is there's a couple of things that they might try and give us in this movie. You thought they'd give us a Kessel Run. You were totally right, because the Falcon's called the Kessel Run Falcon. Yeah. So that's great. We're going to see that. And I guess I wanted them to be a bit original, but if they're going to give us anything, give us a Kessel Run then.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have to see how Chewie and Han meet, and the life debt thing. There has to be some kind of explanation for that.
Yeah.
And there's probably going to be an explanation for Dengar, because Dengar looks the way he does because he had some sort of speeder crash, which he blames Han Solo for.
Well, that's interesting.
That could be in the movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Dengar could be there as a...
This is what I think this speeder chase is. In the on that third Lego box in our Instagram.
I reckon we're going to get Greedo as well in this film. I reckon there's going to be... it's going to be like a fanboy's dream. It's going to be the bounty hunters, basically. He's making enemies.
I really...
Through his
the more I see leaks of this film, the more I'm getting excited about it. Because I've got nothing riding on it. I said this before. Han Solo's not Harrison Ford in this film. I don't care.
Well, he may be. I mean, they may have that kind of thing where he starts off and he's old and he's talking about his past or something. They could do something like that.
I got so excited with The Last Jedi, and I had so many expectations about it. And it was just the week after was just I was emotionally drained, mate. I was knackered from it, overthinking it. Whereas this, I'm just getting into the mindset of. Just going to go and chill out and relax.
Yeah,
and enjoy the film.
Me too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's not like a massive epic story riding on it. It's going to be a take it or leave it film like Rogue One. And there's a lot of people out there, a lot of Star Wars fans, real proper Star Wars fans, who really don't rate Rogue One at all. Which I personally don't understand, because I think it's probably the best looking Star Wars film that's ever been made. It's photographed so beautifully. The CGI work in that is so well done that the ships look like models, as if they're actually. It looks. It's such a tribute to the look and feel of A New Hope.
Yeah,
and so carefully done. And the characters are really richly drawn. All the locations in it are incredibly immersive. Even the villains in it are interesting and complex, and people that you kind of feel sorry for by the end. The CGI Tarkin and whatever is just groundbreaking. So if this film can give us some magic moments like Rogue One did, and I have complete faith that it will, then that's great. But there are a lot of things that people are unsure about. The actor playing Han Solo apparently is renowned for being a very inexperienced and
I think that's what people are more worried about, that the fact that he had to have acting lessons halfway through the making of this.
Most films do have. Sometimes there are acting coaches on set. They usually help people with dialogue or speaking their lines, or maybe helping them with they have to speak different languages and stuff like that. So that's not uncommon to have guys like that on set. Yeah. But if the rumours are true, it's a little bit worrying that this film is being carried by this young man who, I guess the supporting characters really need to have a big part in this to help shoulder that responsibility, particularly Lando.
Donald Glover's great.
Donald Glover, yeah. So I mistakenly called him Danny last week, and one of our listeners berated me for it. It was quite funny, but I'm really sorry, yeah. I said Danny Glover, and I actually questioned, did I say Danny or Donald? And I thought I definitely said Donald, but obviously I was wrong.
Look, you've got. I'm just looking at the cast here. I mean, Warwick Davis is in it, so he's standard. We've got Woody
There's no
Harrelson.
droid characters in this, are there? Usually, there's in every Star Wars film. There's always like a major droid character, and
I hope not. Do you know what I'm like? I'm hoping we'll see the trailer soon. I'm hoping we're not going to have any sort of marketed character that's not going to have a point in the film just for you to go and buy it. It looks like these Corellia dog things will be the cuddly toy of choice. It's great that we've only got 5 months to wait for another Star Wars film.
There obviously will be characters who are used in this film and only in this film, like in Rogue One. There has to be.
Okay, like a Krennic. But Krennic was so integral to the story, it was fine.
Sure.
But in Rogue One, every single character had a purpose, had a point. They all influenced the end. The ending in their own way. There was no way they would.
They all contribute to the mission,
of course.
Even Jin's mother, who has something like 5 minutes of screen time, she's already sets a lasting impression.
Yeah, it's a domino effect narrative, right? So one thing affects the other, and every single character's got purpose. Whereas we won't dwell on The Last Jedi.
Even
again,
the rebel generals. Just the rebel generals or whatever, they were all really strong.
Holdo was pointless. That should have been Akbar, but who cares?
No, I was talking about the ones in Rogue One.
Fine.
I'm talking about Mon Mothma and General Graven and stuff like this, Yeah,
but they were great. And do you know, Rogue One had everything. It had prequel nodbacks for the prequel guys. It had original trilogy nodbacks for the old school fanboys. And it had characters from Clone Wars that came in. It had characters or nod to characters from Rebels. So you saw Chopper in the background, and you heard the Tannoy announcement for General Sandula. Oh, I can't remember her name. Sorry, everyone. So it just had little nods and subtleties on the periphery of the core storyline, which was solid and character based, and at the end you cared. And
the great thing about Rogue One is, you don't really have to read comics and play video games and watch the animated series to understand it. Whereas with the Marvel films, for example, there are now so many kind of like cameos from different fucking films in each film that it doesn't really, as a story, it's quite difficult to make any sense. You kind of need to have read this comic and seen that film before you go and see this one and stuff like that. But I think Rogue One could be enjoyed by someone who hasn't seen Star Wars before. However, let's say, for example, you're going to show someone a Star Wars film. What would you show them? Well, would you start with Rogue One? Would you start with Rogue One? I think.
No,
I might.
Oh, well, my sister loved it. She's been going to see these new Star Wars films all the time. She's not a Star Wars fan at all. She said The Force Awakens was cheesy. She didn't like that. She said it was too cheesy and colourful. She said The Last Jedi was better than The Force Awakens, but still didn't like it because the one she loved was Rogue One.
Right.
And I think Rogue One is just, maybe it's just her age as well. And if you're going to watch Star Wars for the first time and you're you're an adult. It's more of an adult film. It's got adult themes running through it. It's a war film.
Yeah.
It's life and death.
Yeah,
and people.
And I'm
don't
really looking
survive.
forward to. really looking forward to doing the commentary on Rogue One with you. Can't wait for
absolutely. I mean, going back to Han Solo. Woody Harrelson's always good. He's a good backbone.
Oh,
of
he's
an actor.
fantastic.
You've got Emilia Clarke. All right,
Yep.
she's hot property right now. Everyone wants a piece of her.
She's hot property.
Games
She wasn't very good as Sarah Connor in Terminator. That was pretty
at her
fucking
profile,
awful.
next to Alden Ehrenstein or whatever his name is.
Aaron, is it
No, it's
Alden or Aaron? Erickson?
What's that? Whatever. The guy that no one can pronounce a name, and if you can, you're not dyslexic. Congratulations. They look similar. I would not be surprised if they're brother and sister. You see Han Solo's sister.
Right,
that's who I think she's going to be.
Her name's not been, her surname's not been revealed. She's simply referred to as Kira, but it's spelt with a Q.
Yeah, well, I think
it's got like a weird Star Warsy spelling that makes it look harder to pronounce than it really is.
And I think that's because she's.
And obviously she's called Kira because I think they originally called Rey Kira.
Yeah.
In the original draft for The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chewie's going to be in it, of course. So, I mean, we know nothing about these films. We know that the Kessel Run's going to be in it. We think that a couple of bounty hunters are going to be in it. I think it's going to be...
It's all speculation at this point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be wisecracking, fun. I'm just looking forward to going to the cinema, grabbing a bag of popcorn, nothing riding on it, and hopefully just smiling my way through this film and come out of it feeling like, okay, it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was going to be. The reason people don't want it is because people don't want it. No one asked for this film.
I completely understand. Nobody did. And when they said they're making a Han Solo U story, neither of us were impressed by that. And we thought, well, that's not necessary. We don't really... It does
it's like the Young Indiana Jones
character
series, which was CAG.
Well, it wasn't too bad, that Young Indiana series.
Just right. I remember 90s
I remember the
TV.
production of that was really nice. I thought they were quite cinematic, those young.
I used to watch that
30
going,
episodes.
This isn't Harrison Ford. I used to watch it in the 90s.
The way he talks and behaves,
having my breakfast, having my cornflakes.
Yeah.
Watching it.
The character
in the living room.
the young Indiana Jones character, the way he's performed by the actor, I can't remember his name. The actor doesn't look anything like Harrison Ford. He doesn't behave anything like Indiana Jones does in the other films
I couldn't get past
either.
it. I couldn't get past that roadblock, and that's why I never got into it.
River Phoenix was a good Indiana Jones. So when he plays him, the young version of him in The Last Crusade at the beginning, the opening sequence. Do you remember this? Where he finds some guys stealing an antique, and he grabs it off them, and he runs along a train and falls into a pit of snakes. And he's a great young Harrison Ford in that. But obviously, sadly, River Phoenix died.
Of course.
I think he killed himself in the 90s at some point. Sorry to bring that up, but he was a really good young Harrison Ford.
But he looks like him. I just looked him up there. He does look like him.
Yeah, he's got that kind of like angry, pissed off kind of face that Harrison Ford has. The young, feisty Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd like to do something before we wrap up the show.
Hit me up.
I would like to give you a quiz, okay? Now, we've done that sort of quiz before, but I've got a little bit of an idea on this. You know that Two Ronnies sketch where he asks his mastermind, he asks him a question, and he answers for the previous question.
Right. Oh, mate, this is going to kill me. Yeah, go on.
So the first answer to the question will be yes, of course. But when I actually ask the question, you're not going to reply, okay? So, Jude, are you ready to play?
Yeah, it almost would make sense.
No, you've done it wrong. You've done it wrong already. You've already fucking got it wrong.
Oh, sorry. I was
Twat. Right, Jude.
Keep that in.
Jude, are you ready to play?
Yeah. No,
you fucking idiot. You're not ready to play. Just leave silence there.
Go.
Jude, are you ready to play? Right, question 1 then. What is the name of the decision-making ruling body of the Old Republic?
Yes.
Correct. After a hard day on Tatooine, how does C-3PO like to relax?
The Senate.
Correct. Which actor was a carpenter before Star Wars propelled him to stardom?
Oil bath.
Correct. Who does C-3PO call an overweight glob of grease?
Harrison Ford.
Correct. Who provided the voice of Darth Vader?
My mind's gone mental. Hang on. R2? D2.
Correct. Okay. Which ice planet do the rebels have a base on at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back?
James L. Jones.
Correct. Who does Princess Leia think is a little short for a stormtrooper?
Hoth.
Correct. Which unfortunate bounty hunter does Han Solo shoot in Mos Eisley Cantina?
Luke Skywalker.
Correct. What creature attacks Luke at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back?
Greedo.
Correct. Who said a Jedi gains power through the understanding and a Sith gains understanding through power in Revenge of the Sith?
A Wampa.
Correct. And which actor is seen here portraying an iconic character?
Paul's Yoda.
Incorrect, mate. That's the end of the round. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Oh, mate,
and
honestly,
crazy.
If that is the biggest mind
head
boggle.
fuck.
You what?
The biggest head fuck ever, isn't it?
Mate, it honestly, biggest mind boggle of all time.
Cool. I thought we'd give that a whirl before we wrap the show up.
That's pretty good. Well done.
You got anything else you want to chat about, man?
Next show that we are doing, without doubt, will be a commentary. We know you guys love
episode 3 coming next week.
You did a little vote on Instagram, and it was almost tied, but
it was kind of like that's not like a guarantee. That's what we're definitely doing next. It just out of curiosity, what do you guys think about us recording a commentary for The Last Jedi and releasing it before Revenge of the Sith? We kept people waiting for Revenge of the Sith a long time.
I'll be honest, I don't want to watch The Last Jedi doing a commentary on some khaki pirate.
Fair enough. Maybe
screen.
we'll wait till the Blu-ray comes out.
And
we'll just get nice high quality.
It's coming out in March.
Okay, fine.
Cool.
Well, that's not long to wait, and
so
that's cool with me.
All
right then. Well, just to recap then, the Star Wars competition. You heard us talking about it earlier. If you want to get involved, you send us an email, blarwarspodcast@gmail.com. Again, please don't send us an email if you're under 18. Please don't send us an email if you can't get to London, because obviously doesn't mean you can by all means travel to London, but we are not willing to pay for your travel or accommodation. We're definitely paying for your ticket to the thing, and we'll get you lunch or dinner afterwards as well with us, and we'll get you some drinks.
And you will probably be recorded, and you'll be
we'll
on
probably
the show.
chuck a Blar Wars shirt in as well for you and your mate. So we may have a little chat with you as well. You don't have to be on the show if you don't want to, but we might just bring the portable recorder just to get like an immediate reaction from everyone. That'd be fun. I remember a while ago we're watching A New Hope, and you said we were arguing about why R4D5 I5D4 pops his load. Yeah. In the From a Certain Point of View book, there's a story called The Red One.
I haven't read that
and
bit
it's
yet.
from the perspective of R4D5 or I5D4, I can't remember his name. Basically, when he's in that sandcrawler, he's hoping to get sold. It's all he wants to be is sold and have a purpose again in life.
Oh mate, this makes the whole thing sad. Go on.
R2D2 arrives, falls through the little hole
on top of
lands
him.
There. Yeah, he sees R2D2 there. He goes to sleep. He shuts himself down, and then he wakes up, and R2D2 is sabotaging him. Okay.
No.
And he says, "What are you doing?" And he goes, I have to sabotage you to interrupt the competition. It's really important. I've got really important messages. I have to find this master. I need to get out of here and get sold tomorrow. It's absolutely essential I get sold first. And R4D5 basically says, "Go away," and I've been here for longer than you, and whatever. And that's that. And then when Luke chooses him, when Owen chooses him as well to take that red one, he goes off. R2 steps forward and goes, blah, 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 blah. He's basically saying the galaxy's doomed unless you let me go. I need to go instead. And the Jawa silences him, and then he decides, okay, I'm going to let this guy, I'm going to let R2 have this one, and he blows his load.
So it was
intentional.
It's a hero.
He blew it. He says, and he says to Artie, says to him, "Thank you, little droid. You've saved the universe," or something like that. It's his lovely little story. You've got to go get
hang
this
on.
book.
The whole
This is-
Star Wars entire saga is based on R5 popping his load.
The actions of R5. Yeah, well, loads of little
think,
tiny
can we
things,
have
aren't they?
a minute
This whole book,
silence for R5?
from a certain point of view, is about the little tiny background
It's up
decisions.
there. It's up on my shelf. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
Mate,
It's all about the little decisions that people make that allow the New Hope plot to happen. And that's right down to the stormtrooper who decides to stun Princess Leia,
instead of shoot her.
and and the guy who tells the guy not to fire on the escape pod.
Yeah.
And then later on, he goes away covering his tracks to basically hide all evidence that happened.
It's great,
so
isn't it?
Darth Vader doesn't get him. It's a beautifully written book, and it's well worth getting. It's 40 short stories. I got it you for Christmas, didn't I? 40 short
did.
stories celebrating 40 years of Star Wars. I got myself a copy, and I'm like, this is lovely. This is lovely.
I think what we need to do is we need to get some sort of enamel badge of R5 every year. We wear it for a day. We make
Yeah.
a date of it, and we hold a minute silence.
We pop our load as well.
We hold a minute silence for R5.
Yeah. He's not dead. R5's not dead. He escapes at the end of the story.
That's good then. That's
Because
good.
the stormtroopers all come
Forget
on
it,
board,
forget
they
it.
kill
No
everybody,
celebration, no minute silence.
and then
Let's
R5 literally drives off into the sunset, looking forward to the future. So we never see him again, but he gets freed at the end of the story because
He's
the
a
stormtroopers
droid.
ran.
He's got no emotions. You don't know what he's doing.
Yes, he does. He's sat there and he's really sad because he's not had no one's cleaned him or lubricated him for ages, and he's all rusting and stuff. That's why he's sad. So it's a great little story,
No one's
man.
lubricated me for ages. Anyway,
All right, look,
that.
guys, thank you so much for listening to our show this week. If you are listening on Spotify, it'd be good that you know that we're on Instagram. You can find us on there. That's where you can find out exactly what's going on. Really, that's the one we're all over. And there's a great community there of people commenting on things, so you can really get involved in conversations there. We were also on Twitter, and we're also on Facebook. And if you want to get in touch with any feedback or comments, complaints, things like that,
Don't complain.
let us know. No, I welcome complaints. People are willing to complain. We won't necessarily act on them, but
No, I
we
won't
will
read them,
definitely
so-
listen to them. So,
John will.
But yeah,
I'm
until
too
next
busy.
time then, mate. I've been John Galantini.
I've been Duke Gay.
May the force be with you. Take care, guys.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.